This is going to be a different video than I usually do, because I'm mainly going to do movie reviews, but with this artist that I'm going to talk about in the music industry, I believe that he is too fantastic for me not to talk about. And again, this is purely my opinion. Some people might hate the artist I'm going to talk about, and that's completely fine. This is just my opinion, and I'm going to give the reasons why I believe he is one of the most interesting, not only rap artists, but music artists in the complete music industry today. The artist I'm going to be talking about is Danny Brown. Now, I actually didn't start listening to Danny Brown until about a year ago. My brother found a song called The Black Brad Pitt, and the song was completely ridiculous and funny, and it introduced me to Danny Brown's style of rap. He was featured in the song, and as I said, it introduced me to his style of rap. His high-pitched way of going about and rapping his lines, and it introduced me to his flow and everything like that. So at first, I didn't think anything of the song. I thought it was a good song, thought it was a funny song to listen to, but then I thought that I would look at Danny Brown's other music and see if that was good. And I was in for a huge surprise whenever I listened to Atrocity Exhibition, which was released in 2016, and this album is so good, so well put together, so well produced. It is, in my opinion, if you're a fan of rap, this is not an album to be missed. Now, people will say about music artists or certain artists that they're doing something different in the music industry, or this or that, or they're doing this different, and they're talking about this stuff while everybody else is talking about this stuff. Now, Danny Brown, he has a very different take, and I'm going to say that he does things differently, but he does more things differently than other people who talk about the subject matter usually do. So his subject matter in his songs usually revolves around the use of drugs, sex, and just money, wealth. And so when you look at that on the surface, you're like, oh, okay, so it's basically every other rap song that comes on the radio. But then you actually go in and look at the lyrics, and while it might seem on the surface for some of his songs that he's glorifying it, when you dig down deeper into the song and actually look at the lyrics, you can see that he's pointing out the problems with doing these things through the use of vivid imagery and disturbing wordplay. My favorite song by him of all time has to be Ain't It Funny, off of his album Atrocity Exhibition. And this song is just a fantastic, fantastic rap song. His flow is amazing. The beat is very weird and experimental and out there, and it's just so good, and he places himself so well on the beat, and he knows the right flow to have, and he just kind of floats along on the track, and he just delivers these verses with just brutality and just pure, just passion about what he's talking about. And this song mainly revolves around the consequences that come from drug use. And one of my favorite sections of the song comes in his last verse, and he says, "It's a living nightmare that most of us might share, inherited in our blood, It's why we stuck in the mud. Can't quit the drug use or the alcohol abuse, even if I wanted to. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wash away my problems with this bottle of Henny. Anxiety got the best of me, so popping them Xannies might need rehab, but to me that shit pussy, pray for me y'all, cause I don't know it's coming to me. And that line was just so fantastic to me, because that's how some people look at their problems. If a heavy drug user is being told by people that, hey, guess what, you're an alcoholic, you should probably stop, they might look back at that bottle and say, well, yeah, I got problems, I guess I'll just drink them away, and then continue drinking because they feel like they can't cope with the problems that they have. And to me, that was just a beautiful illustration on his part of the horror that underlies every time you use a drug or drink alcohol. And now again, this isn't applicable to everybody. There are many people that just use drugs recreationally and drink alcohol recreationally, and they're completely fine. But this is more targeted at the abusers, and I believe it's a fantastic song overall. And his other two albums, Triple X and Old, are also very, very good. Triple X is more on the strange side as far as the experimental beats go, and while he does have a message, like his message is pretty much the same over his three albums to about drugs and alcohol and the such, but on Triple X, in my opinion, it wasn't demonstrated as well as on Atrocity Exhibition. And Old had it was kind of like split up into two parts. There were some songs that were his experimental fashion, and then there were other songs that were just bangers. But also what I really liked about even the songs that were bangers, they had that underlying tone of just pure horror from using drugs and alcohol and all that. But Atrocity Exhibition is honestly probably my favorite album of all time. I love it so much. I've listened to it multiple times. It's definitely an album that you have to listen to from beginning to end, not only because the songs flow so well together, but because the message flows from the beginning to the end, and it illustrates a perfect message to the listener. The experimental beats make it very hard to listen to, but a very rewarding listening. It's something different, and that's what I love. It's not conventional rap music. It's not what everybody's talking about. It's not the flow that most rappers go with. He hits hard, he goes fast, and it's just phenomenal. His wordplay is fantastic, and he is one of the most interesting icons in rap today, in my opinion. He's probably my favorite rapper right now that's putting out music. He's just so good and careful about his music. It's fantastic. So I highly urge you to listen to his albums if you get a chance. All of them are very good. Atrocity Exhibition, as I said, is my favorite album of all time. I honestly just think Danny Brown should get more publicity because he really is one of the most interesting faces in the rap game today.